I was slinging gourmet grilled cheese from my food cart when this guy, filthy, but drop-dead gorgeous, started staring at me. "It's $5 for one. You want to try it?" I asked. He swallowed hard. "All my cards are frozen. I'm broke." I couldn't help but tease him. "Broke? Then you can work for me. I'll support you with my grilled cheese empire." To my surprise, he actually nodded. Later, when his assistant finally found him, he was wearing an apron and expertly flipping a grilled cheese on the griddle. "Sir, it's so good to see you're okay. Get lost. My sausage is about to burn." I was getting ready to pack up for the night when I noticed a grimy-looking guy who'd been watching me for a while. Great, some creep who follows girls home, I thought, my guard immediately up. He took a few steps closer, and that's when I got a clear look at his face. Even though his clothes were a mess and he had a cut on his cheek, you couldn't miss his features. They were as perfect as a hand-sculpted action figure. The man swallowed, his eyes glued to the picture of a grilled cheese on my menu. "Want some? It's $5. You want to try one?" His big eyes instantly filled with a look of despair, and I think I even heard him sigh. "All my cards are frozen. I'm broke. Who doesn't have $5 on them?" Then again, a face like his wasn't something you saw on a normal person. He flushed, clearly embarrassed, and started to turn away. "Wait." I couldn't resist. "Since you're broke, you can work for me. I'll support you with my grilled cheese empire." He stopped, and a little light finally returned to his eyes. "If I work for you, will I get to eat?" I smiled. "All the grilled cheese you can handle." He actually nodded. Under the dim yellow streetlights, my cart was the only one still lit up on the food truck row. I drizzled some oil on the griddle. With a sizzle, the bread hit the hot surface, creating a beautiful symphony. The man's eyes were wide, and he kept swallowing spit. Next, I cracked an egg, spread the sauce, and added onions and cilantro, all in one smooth motion. I expertly sliced the grilled cheese into pieces, placed it on a paper plate, and snapped open a pair of disposable chopsticks. "Here. Eat up." The man took the chopsticks and devoured it like a starving animal, not even leaving a single piece of onion behind. When he was done, he looked at me again with those captivating eyes. "What, still hungry?" I asked. His eyes suddenly turned red. "I haven't eaten a single thing since I got off the plane yesterday." What was I supposed to do? It was the middle of the night, and I couldn't just leave this gorgeous guy hanging around here. "So, you want to come home with me? Let's go." He immediately hopped onto the seat of my utility cart. He sure makes himself at home fast. But how was I going to explain bringing a strange man home to my grandma? It was already 9:30 p.m. when we got home. Grandma was waiting for me in the living room. "Holly, what kept you so late tonight? And who's this behind you?" I nervously fidgeted with the hem of my shirt. "Grandma, this is my classmate. He had a family emergency and needs to stay with us for a little while." Grandma smiled warmly. "A classmate? What's his name?" "His name is..." "Hello, Grandma. My name is Leo." Leo's smile was so clean it took my breath away. "What? Cleo?" "Grandma, it's Leo." "Rio?" "Never mind, just call him Leo," I said, giving up. I gave Leo an apologetic look. My grandma's getting older, and her hearing isn't what it used to be. Don't mind her. I don't. I grabbed Leo's arm and pulled him toward the kitchen. "Grandma, is there any food left?" Leo's still hungry. When I said his name, I felt Leo's arm twitch. Was he shy? Yes. I just made some crispy fried pork. I'll whip up a stew for you too." Grandma tied on her apron and got busy in the kitchen while Leo and I waited at the dining table. I cleared my throat, trying to sound serious. "Let's do proper introductions. I'm Holly Lane. I'm a junior in college." My parents are gone, so after class, I sell grilled cheese on the food truck row to make money. Leo's head was down, as if he was recalling some unhappy memories. I'm Leo. I did my bachelor's and master's at Cambridge. My parents are also gone. I came back from my father's funeral yesterday. There was a car crash right after I landed. My phone and luggage were destroyed in the fire, and when I escaped, I found out the only card I had on me was frozen. My eyes went wide. My mind instantly cooked up a whole cheesy soap opera plot. A bachelor's and master's from Cambridge? Just how brilliant was this guy? The aroma of food broke the awkward silence between us. Crispy pork stew is ready. Grandma brought out a huge steaming bowl of soup and some hot rice. I served Leo a bowl first. You said you were still hungry. Eat up. He stared at the rice I handed him, his eyes turning red again. He took the bowl, which I'd topped with some of the stew's broth, with a trembling hand. Thank you, Grandma. And thank you, Holly. After dinner, I showed him where to wash up. Leo's suit was torn and filthy, but I didn't have any men's clothes in the house. I dug through my closet and pulled out an oversized nightshirt. You can wear this for now. I'll go buy you some clothes tomorrow. What are your sizes? Everything's an XL. I'll have to get you underwear too. What size do you wear? By the time I realized what I just said, it was too late. Leo's face turned beet red as he squeezed out a few words. XXL. Well, you're really packing, huh? His face was so red it looked like it was about to bleed. My house only had 2 bedrooms, and I didn't want to wake Grandma, so Leo would have to sleep on a mattress on my floor. After we got everything settled, I was lying on my bed, swinging my feet. Do you have any other relatives? Should I call the police for you? Don't call the police. Leo was wearing my bunny print nightshirt, and when he got agitated, the little 3D bunny ears on the chest bounced back and forth. If we call the police, my stepmother will find me first and have me killed. That car crash wasn't an accident. She must be trying to take my dad's entire inheritance for herself. This kind of infighting among rich families was something I'd only ever seen on TV. I never thought it could be so brutal, having to walk over dead bodies to get ahead. Well, in that case, you just stick with me and sell grilled cheese. Good night. Good night. Leo's gentle, magnetic voice sounded in my ear like a lullaby, and I slept soundly. The next morning, I woke up from my 8 a.m. class. I saw a pink figure moving around in the kitchen. Still half asleep, I stumbled over and gave it a hug. Grandma, you're still so young at heart, wearing such a bright pink. My hands touched something soft. Grandma, your chest is sagging a little more than usual. Grandma, when did your back get so broad? A pair of strong, bony hands pulled mine away. Grandma, don't you love your granddaughter anymore? You won't even let me hug you. Suddenly, I heard a key in the front door. Holly, Grandma's back from grocery shopping. If my grandma was at the door, then who was I hugging? Leo let out an awkward cough. Oh my God. I quickly yanked my hands back. Wait a minute. That soft thing I touched, could it be? I'm so sorry, Leo. I forgot you were here. Leo's face was red all the way to the tips of his ears. It's okay. I was just trying to make you breakfast. I glanced at the breakfast he prepared, burnt fried eggs and scorched slices of toast. He looked at me with those bewitching eyes again. Go on, try it. It's my first time making breakfast for someone. I froze for 3 seconds, then bolted. I'm going to be late for class. I'll just eat out. I grabbed my backpack and ran out the door. If I ate his breakfast, I'd probably spend the whole day on the toilet. When I got to my lecture hall, my best friend had already saved me a seat. Since I lived close by, I had gotten permission from my advisor to be a commuting student, which saved me a ton on dorm fees. As soon as class was over at noon, I rushed out of the classroom and headed for the outlet mall. I quickly found a men's clothing store. The owner at the door was super enthusiastic. T-shirts are 3 for $30, pants are 2 for $30. Pick whatever you want. I pointed to the top rack. Boss, that whole row up there. I'll take it all. Get it down for me. I couldn't afford the big department stores, but discount stuff was no problem at all. Oh, right. I still had one important thing to get. I stammered, boss, do you have men's underwear? I'm buying it for my brother. Yep. $10 for a 3-pack. I'll bag 'em up for you. When I got home lugging all the bags, Leo seemed to be in a bad mood. I held up the clothes I bought, one by one, to see how they'd look on him. He swatted the clothes out of my hands and onto the floor, leaving me with my arms hanging in midair. What do you think you're doing? I asked, my voice sharp with anger. His eyes were watery, and his cheeks were puffed out like a pufferfish, but he just stood there silently. I pointed at the clothes on the floor. Pick them up. Even though he was upset, he obediently did as he was told. I sat on the sofa, my expression serious. Why are you throwing a tantrum? I'm not throwing a tantrum, I just... Spit it out. His voice suddenly cracked with emotion. You didn't even touch the breakfast I made you this morning. That was the first time I've ever cooked for anyone. That's what this is about? Leo rubbed his eyes and nodded. I almost laughed out of sheer frustration. Look at the food you made. Did it even look edible? I know you used to be some rich kid with maids waiting on you, who never had to lift a finger. But that doesn't mean I have to be grateful for every little thing you do, especially now that you're supposed to be working for me. Why don't you wait until you can actually make something I'd want to eat before you get all sensitive? Leo stood there, stunned. The fist he had clenched slowly relaxed. He suddenly walked over to me and bowed his head. I'm sorry. I was being arrogant. I'll try my best to learn how to cook. I patted his head. It's good that you can admit when you're wrong. Now go try on the clothes I bought you. When Leo walked out of the bedroom, I had to take a deep breath. The cheap, discount clothes looked like haute couture on him. Even the wrinkles on the jeans, which were made from cheap fabric, looked like an intentional, designer fade on his legs. Do I look okay? I nodded like a bobblehead. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Oh, right. Did you try on the underwear? I did. Does it fit okay? Yeah, it's fine. Good. I don't have class this afternoon, so we can head out early tonight with the cart. Leo knelt in front of me like a devoted follower. Holly Lane, teach me how to make grilled cheese. I'm a fast learner. No time like the present. I pulled him into the kitchen. Grilling the bread is easy. Just put down some oil, wait 30 seconds, then flip it. You try. I only had to show him once before he got the hang of it. Next step, we crack an egg on the bread and scramble it with the spatula. Leo didn't know how to crack an egg and ended up crushing the shell with a little too much force. I rolled my eyes and guided his hand. Look. Tap it gently to make a small crack, then use both hands to pull the crack open. Leo's gaze never left my hand on his. His ears turned red again. I nudged him with my elbow. Are you even paying attention? I got it. Good. The rest is easy. Just add the other ingredients, roll it up, slice it, and you're done. The steam from the grilled cheese filled the kitchen, and in the hazy air, Leo's face looked almost divine. I shivered. He must have been a siren in a past life. For his first time out, Leo did even better than I expected. With the help of his handsome face, he drew the attention of tons of girls. Business at my cart was booming. I handled the cooking while he took orders and served. Hello, can I get you anything to drink? We also have soy milk and Coke. The girls behind him were screaming in waves, and honestly, it was starting to get on my nerves. One girl boldly confessed her feelings. Bro, you're way too handsome to be selling grilled cheese. Let me make a video of you, you'd totally go viral. Leo waved his hands frantically. I don't do videos. Besides, I already have someone I like. Another round of shrieks erupted from the girls. He's so loyal. Is the person you like the owner? Leo glanced at me, then smiled without saying a word. What's that supposed to mean? If you don't like me, you don't have to mock me. That's a pay cut for you. We got an early start today, and with Leo drawing in customers, we made almost $1,000. I handed Leo a $100 bill. Here's your pay for today. Thank you, boss. We sat together on the front seat of my cart, the jars and containers in the back clanking against each other. This was hardly a romantic setting. But I couldn't stop my eyes from stealing glances at him. The person Leo liked was probably a girl from a similar background. Someone raised to be poised and cultured, showered with love, living in a beautiful mansion. When he finally went home, they'd have a huge wedding and continue their upper-class life. It made sense. If it weren't for that car accident, his world and mine would have never crossed paths. After a long day, I washed up and collapsed into bed. In a sleepy haze, someone gently shook me awake. Holly, I need to tell you something. I was drooling in my sleep. What's up? The underwear, it's kind of chafing. I shot up in bed, my face almost bumping into Leo, who was sitting in front of me. Oh, what should we do? I can order you some better ones online right now. Leo sat on the edge of my bed, blushing. Sorry to trouble you. I'll work hard to help you earn the money back. His tone made it sound like I was some kind of madam and he was the star courtesan being forced to sell his body. Gritting my teeth, I placed an order for a 3-pack that cost $50. I'd never even worn underwear that expensive myself. For 2 straight weeks, Leo dutifully helped me sell grilled cheese. All the while, he never gave up trying to contact his assistant using my phone. He only remembered the first few digits of the number, so he had to try them one by one, crossing off the wrong ones as he went. Every day when I set up the cart, a crowd of people would be waiting on the sidewalk, just to get a glimpse of his handsome face. In the distance, the student council president, Rick, was heading my way with a few of his cronies. Well, Holly. Where do you find this little helper? His face has been all over the campus crush page these last few days. I didn't have time for him. Ever since a huge fight we had our sophomore year, he'd been making my life difficult. I'm not here to cause trouble today. I'm here with some great news for you. I'm allowing you to be my girlfriend. My eyes dripped with sarcasm. Rick, if you're sick in the head, you should go see a doctor. Don't you want your financial aid package this year? Don't think I don't know about your family situation. Rick and his goons sat down at my cart's service counter. Your parents died in an accident when you were in middle school, leaving you with just your grandma. Be a good girl and get with me. You'll never have to sell grilled cheese again. I stopped what I was doing and shot a contemptuous look at the group. On an average day, I sell about 100 grilled cheeses. On weekends, even more. After costs, I make about $10,000 a month. If you want to be my sugar daddy, you'll have to offer me more than what I'm making now. Rick's face turned red. He had intended to humiliate me. So what? Aren't you trying to get into a grad program? The associate dean is my uncle. Whether you get in or not depends entirely on what I say. I had to admit, he had me there. My grades were good enough for a direct recommendation, but if Rick interfered, I'd have to go through the whole grueling application process. It was almost July. The required scores for my major were high, and I might have to spend a whole second year trying. I bit my lip, hard. I'd rather die than bend the knee. Get lost. Don't interfere with my business. Rick's surprise turned to fury. I was trying to do you a favor because you're halfway decent looking, but you just had to throw it back in my face. Suddenly, a large hand wrapped around my shoulder. Leo, at 6'1", stood beside me, pulling me into his arms. As long as I'm here, no one is going to bully Holly. Rick's face darkened, and the guys behind him stood up in unison. Who the hell do you think you are? Does it look like anyone asked for your opinion? You trying to steal my girl? She rejected you. Are you deaf, or just blind? Her pain is not something you get to use as leverage. I never expected the gentle, refined Leo to get so fired up. Rick was a good half a head shorter and knew he was losing the standoff. He spat on the ground and left with his crew. The commotion had scared away a lot of the customers. Leo helped me pack up and head home. On the ride back, a wave of sadness washed over me, and tears started streaming down my face. I'd heard things like that my whole life. The old me would have turned into a shrew and cussed Rick out until he ran away with his tail between his legs. But today, Leo was there, and he got dragged into the humiliation with me. This bright, shining moon of a person was fighting with Rick for my sake. It felt like how I feel about my grandma. I don't care what people say about me, but if they bully my grandma, I feel an overwhelming sense of guilt for not protecting her. Back home, Leo was in the bathroom, gently wiping my face. Don't cry. We're both fine. Or are you scared you won't get into grad school? Don't worry about that. I can. I threw my arms around Leo. No, that's not it. I'm just so sorry that you got dragged into this and humiliated too. Leo didn't push me away. He just stroked my hair, comforting me. Are you hungry? I'll go make you a bowl of noodles. I peeked my head out from his chest. Only if you make it delicious. I had to hand it to him. Leo was a quick learner. In just 10 days, his cooking had become pretty impressive. He brought a pot of water to a boil, dropped in a handful of thin noodles, and poached an egg. While the noodles cooked, he mixed the sauce. Just before they were done, he tossed in a handful of fresh, crisp baby greens. He mixed the simple noodle soup and handed it to me. How's this? Look appetizing now? Not bad, not bad. It's passable. When you're sad, you don't need some fancy feast. A simple, light bowl of noodle soup that settles in your stomach is enough. While I ate, Leo borrowed my phone to make some calls. The notebook was filled with numbers he had crossed out. Leo didn't give up and kept trying. Finally, he got the right one. Sir. You're alive. Oh, thank God. You have no idea. After you went missing, Madam immediately announced your death and wouldn't even let anyone search for you. I came back to the country secretly and have been asking around everywhere. A cold smile played on Leo's lips. She's certainly eager, isn't she? Can't wait to pave the way for Owen. Should I send a car to pick you up right now? Not yet. For now, plant some eyes and ears in the house for me. With me dead, she'll be feeling smug. She's bound to show her true colors. When I heard him say not yet, I felt a small sense of relief. It meant Leo and I still had a little more time together. Another week passed, and the three of us were getting along like a real family. Leo's cooking skills improved at lightning speed. During the day, when we weren't working the cart, he'd help Grandma with chores and do the cooking. He really had that husband material vibe when he wore an apron. When I got home from class today, Leo was already at the cart, selling grilled cheese. He expertly asked customers what flavors they wanted and if they had any allergies. A black van pulled up across the street, and several men in suits got out. The one in the lead saw Leo in his apron, flipping sausage on the griddle, and looked like he was about to fall to his knees. Sir. I never imagined you'd be in such a desperate situation. If you had just said something, I could have wired you some money. Leo looked up but didn't stop making the grilled cheese. My sausage is about to burn. Get lost. It was prime time for business, and the line was getting long. Leo's assistant got the hint and had his men stand to the side. A few minutes later, Rick showed up again with a large group of guys. He'd probably lost face to Leo last time and wanted to get some payback. I quickly ran over and stood in front of Leo. Don't think you can bully people just because you brought more guys. Rick, feeling confident with his numbers, grew even more arrogant. Holly, I tried to be nice about this last time, but you didn't listen. You're not going to be so lucky this time. I've figured it out. This worthless worker has a crush on you, right? How dare he try to steal my woman? I'm going to beat him until he's spitting teeth. Rick waved his hand. Boys, get him. I shielded Leo with my body. Just as one of Rick's cronies was about to bring a beer bottle down on my head, a black baton blocked the blow. Leo's assistant had stopped the guy, and the bodyguards behind him pulled out their own batons. Those things hurt like hell but don't leave easy to trace injuries. These guys were professionals. Rick and his crew were taken down in a matter of seconds, but they were still unrepentant. Hey, man, we don't have a beef with you guys. Why are you helping these street vendors? Leo's assistant kicked him. Street vendors? Open your damn eyes and take a good look. This is the young master of the Sterling Corporation. Rick suddenly seemed to remember something, his pupils constricting. He's not the son of Leo Sterling Sr. The chairman? The assistant glanced at him. Took you long enough. Afterward, the assistant offered to drive us home. Leo waved him off. No need. Holly and I will just take the cart home. Looking at my beat-up old cart next to the luxurious, comfortable van was like comparing heaven and earth. My face felt hot. I climbed into the van without a word. Leo was now an expert at driving the cart and could easily give me a ride. When we got to my building, Leo's assistant told him, "Sir, it's about time to go back. I'll come pick you up tomorrow morning." Leo didn't say anything, just nodded. The walk upstairs was silent. I took a deep breath and spoke first. You haven't been home in so long. You must miss it. Leo suddenly took my hand, his voice soft. My mother died in childbirth when I was in elementary school. My father turned around and married my stepmother. I was sent to study abroad in middle school and only came home twice a year. How could I possibly miss a home like that? I took out my key and unlocked the door. The apartment was filled with the smell of food. Grandma greeted us with a ladle in her hand. You must be hungry after packing up the cart. Come on, Grandma made beef meatball soup. The springy, handmade meatballs made Leo and me momentarily forget the sadness of our impending separation as we feasted. Leo wiped his mouth and placed a bank card in Grandma's hand. Grandma, I'm going home tomorrow. Thank you for taking care of me this past month. You have to take this card. The pin is Holly's birthday. Grandma was the most sentimental person I knew. As soon as she heard Leo was leaving, tears started streaming down her face. You've worked so hard, you good boy. Come visit me and Holly often in the future. I didn't say a word, just kept my head down and drank my soup. I was afraid that if I looked up, my tear-filled eyes would give me away. Tonight was the quietest night Leo and I had ever had. Before, we would always fool around for a while before bed. He would always rub my head and tell me stories to help me sleep, just like a real couple. What am I thinking? He's a prince. I tossed and turned in bed, unable to sleep, but Leo seemed to be sleeping peacefully. Two little figures were fighting a war inside my head. Leo never said he liked you, Holly. You're just being delusional. But I like him so much. He's leaving tomorrow, and we might never see each other again. Should I confess? Are you stupid? He's going home to inherit a fortune. Confessing now will only make you look more pathetic. Tangled up in this dilemma, I eventually fell asleep and slept like a log. The next morning, I jolted awake to find Grandma already eating breakfast. I rushed out of my bedroom. Where's Leo? Did he already leave? He left about half an hour ago. The dear boy even made breakfast before he went. Only then did I notice the lavish breakfast spread on the table. Scallion oil noodles, sweet dessert soup, and sliced fruit. So, Leo was still holding a grudge about that first breakfast. So petty. After finishing her meal, Grandma went out for a walk, and the house suddenly felt empty. Leo had carefully folded all his clothes before he left. But as I searched through them, I couldn't find the underwear I had bought for him. He had taken everything, from the $50 3-pack to the $10 ones. Couldn't he have left me even a small memento? A week went by, and I still wasn't used to life without Leo. When I was working the cart, girls would still come up and ask where he went. Every time, I'd snap, he ran off. And he's never coming back. Rick had just been released from detention for the last incident, so he naturally didn't dare cause any more trouble. Life went on peacefully, but it always felt like something was missing. Sometimes, when I missed Leo too much, I'd hug the bunny print nightshirt he used to wear and take a deep breath. The little figures in my head would pop out again. Holly, do you see what you've become? Wah, I don't care. I just really miss him. If you lived under the same roof with a gentle, handsome man for a month, you wouldn't be doing any better. It all felt like a dream. I got to be the heroine of a romance novel for a short time, and now everything was back to the way it was. Another week passed, and an unexpected guest showed up at my door. That afternoon, I had just gotten home from class to find a haughty young woman sitting in my living room. Grandma was sitting next to her, flanked by 2 burly bodyguards. When the young woman saw me, the disdain in her eyes was impossible to hide. Let me introduce myself. My name is Tiffany Lee, and I'm Leo's fiancée. My body went stiff. What do you want? Tiffany walked up to me, her leather heels clicking on the floor. I know Leo stayed with you while he was missing, but don't think for a second that means he's going to marry you. She scanned my apartment and let out a sneer. Normally, I wouldn't deign to come to a dump like this, but I never expected Leo to publicly call off our engagement. I have to teach you a lesson. I was completely lost. What engagement? What are you even talking about? Tiffany waved her hand. Bring the old woman over here. The 2 bodyguards grabbed my grandma and pulled out a club from behind their backs. I don't make a habit of hurting the elderly. So, if you disappear from Leo's life, I'll let your grandma go. Grandma was trembling with fear, unable to speak clearly. Holly, what's happening? Are they robbing us? I clenched my fists. Let my grandma go. I'll do whatever you want. Seeing her plan was working, Tiffany produced a bottle of pills. Write a suicide note, then take these. We'll make it look like a suicide. Only when you're dead can I feel secure as Mrs. Sterling. When I hesitated to take the pills, the 2 bodyguards kicked my grandma in the knees, forcing her to the floor. Grandma's legs were already bad, they couldn't take that kind of abuse. Don't touch my grandma. I'll take it. I closed my eyes for a moment, then opened them again. I'm sorry, Leo. Grandma is all I have left. I took the bottle of pills and picked up a pen and paper to write the note. Suddenly, there was a frantic pounding of footsteps coming up the stairs. Tiffany seemed to sense what was happening. She snatched the bottle, poured out the pills, and tried to force them into my mouth. The door burst open. Leo rushed in, kicked Tiffany away, and helped me up from the floor. The men who followed him in quickly subdued Tiffany's 2 bodyguards. Leo pulled me into his arms and slapped Tiffany twice across the face. The situation had reversed so suddenly that my sense of smell reacted before my brain could. Leo's unique scent filled my nose, and tears began to fall. My body was telling me that I was saved. Grandma's leg was injured, and she was in a state of shock. Leo had someone take her to the hospital immediately. Tiffany clutched her stinging face, her eyes wide with disbelief. Leo, I'm your fiancé. You hit me for this poor girl? Leo's face was as cold as ice. You should know who arranged this engagement. I've already called it off. Tiffany crawled on her hands and knees to Leo's feet. Leo, I know your stepmom only arranged our engagement to strengthen her own power, but you know my feelings for you are real. Tiffany's makeup was smeared, her high heels were gone, and she was a complete mess. I've loved you since we were kids. When your stepmom announced you were dead, I almost killed myself. This woman only spent a month with you and she stole you from me. It's not fair. Leo picked me up in his arms, placed me on the sofa, and turned his back to Tiffany. Well, you seem to be alive and well now, don't you? Just because you like me, you think you can just trample on someone else's life? Love that's accepted is love. When it's not accepted, it's called harassment. It was as if Tiffany's entire world had collapsed. She was still making a last-ditch effort. She grabbed a fruit knife from the coffee table and lunged at me. One of Leo's bodyguards reacted instantly, kicking her wrist and sending the knife flying. What should we do, sir? Should we take her to the police station? Tie her up and send her back to her family first. I have ways to make her suffer more than death. After just a couple of weeks apart, Leo seemed like a different person. He now had the decisive, ruthless air of a true leader. Once the situation was handled and everyone had left, Leo finally let his guard down. He lowered his head and buried his face in my neck. I'm so sorry, Holly. I was late. It's a good thing I arranged for people to watch your place before I left. Leo seemed to be crying softly. He held me so tightly. Just moments ago, I thought I was going to die. My emotions finally broke. I pounded on Leo's chest a couple of times. If you were okay, why didn't you even call me? You had me worried sick. And that fiancée of yours. She came here wanting to kill me. I'm just a girl who sells grilled cheese. Leo let out a chuckle. You're a girl who sells grilled cheese, and I'm a boy who sells grilled cheese. Our eyes met. His suddenly glistened. Then, his captivating eyes traveled from my lips downwards, and my heart began to pound. Be my girlfriend, Holly Lane. Those words exploded in my mind. The little figures in my head popped out again, uncontrollably. See? See? I told you Leo loved me. He. Look at you, all smug. He's a rich kid. He's probably just playing with you. He didn't say he wanted to marry you. True, but he did just ask me to be his girlfriend. He. A warm, wet sensation broke the argument between the two little figures in my head. Leo's handsome face was suddenly right in front of mine, so close I could see each of his thick eyelashes. He was kissing me. Leo carried me into the bedroom, never breaking the kiss. He laid me down on the bed, carefully placing a pillow under my lower back, his lips never leaving mine. Open your mouth. I still had a sliver of reason left. I haven't said yes to being your girlfriend yet. Leo's movements became more aggressive, and I couldn't help but let out a small cry. Then I'll just keep kissing you until you agree. My shirt was lifted, and Leo's hand touched a certain indescribable place. And so, in the small bedroom I had lived in for 22 years, we had our most intimate exchange. The bed sheets were a wrinkled mess, and the old wooden bed frame creaked softly. Afterward, I was drenched in sweat. Leo, however, seemed completely unaffected. I'll carry you to the bathroom to get cleaned up. The thought that we had just, so impulsively. I felt a little wronged. Leo, don't think you can do whatever you want just because you're handsome. If you dare treat me badly, I'll dump you and never look back. Leo bent down to wash me. We'll go home tomorrow. To your home? What for? To get engaged. He said engaged. Don't worry about anything after we're married. I've already bought our house, and I've arranged for your grad school placement. You'll just have to go for the interview. I have a small company. It doesn't make much, just a few tens of millions a year, but it should be enough for you. Once my father's inheritance is settled, I'll give you 50% of my share. With that, are you willing to be my Mrs. Sterling? Leo pulled a 7 or 8 carat pink diamond ring from his suit pocket. Leo, if you're going to propose, at least put some clothes on first. So, is that a yes or a no? It's a yes. Now get dressed. The next morning, Leo took me to his home. Before we left, he even hired a stylist to do my hair and makeup. Looking at myself in the mirror, I actually had the air of a wealthy heiress. It's true what they say, money and beauty are a woman's best supplements. In the car, Leo's assistant handed him a stack of documents. "Sir, all the evidence has been collected. Please take a look." Soon, we arrived at the Sterling family estate. The two large, white jade drum stones at the entrance were a testament to the family's immense wealth. Inside, the atmosphere was strange. Tiffany was sitting next to a glamorous woman, crying. Behind Tiffany, two older people, presumably her parents, glared at Leo and me. Only a high school-aged boy ran out and gave Leo a hug. "Bro, if you're going to be mad at my mom. She's the one who arranged your engagement to Tiffany without asking. And she's the one who leaked that you were staying at my sister-in-law's place. Please don't disown me." Leo didn't seem to dislike this younger brother. "Owen, get off. I'm not mad at you." When Owen saw me, his eyes lit up. "You must be my sister-in-law. You're way prettier than Tiffany. And just so you know, everyone in this family except for me and my brother is a total moron. Don't take any of it to heart." The glamorous woman at the head of the dining table frowned. "Owen, get over here." Tiffany acted like she'd been electrocuted when she saw me and threw herself into her mother's arms, sobbing. "Mom, that's her. It's because of her that Leo is calling off the engagement and hit me." Tiffany's father looked displeased. "Leo, what is the meaning of this? Are you really trying to start a war with our family?" The glamorous woman chimed in from the side. "That's right, Leo. A good match like this is hard to find. Don't let this little tramp bewitch you. I've seen plenty of girls like her who are just trying to marry up." Leo held my hand tightly. "Materially, maybe I'm slumming it a bit with Holly. But emotionally, she's the one who's been slumming it with me. I was in a car accident right after I landed, and to make matters worse, my bank cards were frozen. If it wasn't for Holly, I probably would have either starved to death or been taken care of by the assassins you sent." Another beautiful middle-aged woman stood up. "Leo, we all saw how your mother treated you. Don't think you can just do whatever you want now that you've grown up." Leo helped me sit on the sofa, calmly peeling me an orange as he systematically countered their attacks. "Auntie, you had a hand in my car accident too, didn't you? And you, uncle, and you, third uncle. You're all just like my stepmother, waiting for my father to kick the bucket so you can divide up his assets. That's why you were in such a hurry to get rid of me." The two middle-aged men on the other side of the table looked guilty. Leo's gaze then swept over to Tiffany. "My stepmother must have promised your family a lot, right? After all, Miss Lee's reputation is well known in our circles. One night with this male model, the next with that one. If I married someone like you, would I have any reputation left?" Tiffany burst into tears again. "Leo, I only spent the night with them. My heart still belongs to you. I was cracking sunflower seeds and eating oranges, my eyes darting back and forth like a spectator at a tennis match. The drama in rich families really is something else." Leo's brother was right. Seeing the tide turn, Leo's stepmother grabbed a tissue and started to cry. "I know you resent me, but since you're okay, you should have at least come to see your father during all the time you were missing. He was calling your name before he died. It doesn't matter how you slander me, but he was your father. You are so unfilial. All our relatives are here today. I can't have such an unfilial son. If you want to call off the engagement, I can't stop you, but don't even think about getting a single penny of your father's inheritance. You don't deserve it." So that's what she was waiting for. A small mountain of sunflower seed shells had piled up in front of me. Owen sat down next to me and grabbed a handful of seeds from the table. "I'm telling you, since my brother dared to come back, he must have something on my mom. She thought she could get away with it, but now she's getting what she deserves." I glanced at him. "Are you even her biological son? Why are you so loyal to Leo?" "You don't know. When I was little, my mom was so focused on securing her position that she left me with the nanny all the time. My brother was the only one who would play with me when he came home from break. The first time I ever went to an amusement park, the first time I ever went swimming, it was all with my brother. Are you finished? Leo pulled out a stack of files and photos. The driver of the car I was in when I crashed was one of your people, wasn't he? Why else would I feel dizzy as soon as I got in the car, only to wake up to the car on fire in the middle of nowhere? That's the first count. Leo then produced the driver's confession and a recording from his source inside the house. Ever since that pest died, I've been in such a good mood. No one will be competing with my Owen for the inheritance anymore. Helen's son will never be able to beat my son. Owen shot up from the sofa, his eyes red. Mom, so it really was you who tried to hurt my brother? I never wanted to fight for any inheritance. Don't project your own desires onto me. The glamorous woman's eyes darted around in a panic. When she first made her move, she never thought Leo would come back alive. Even if he did, she thought she had covered her tracks perfectly. Leo's expression was calm as he produced another file. This one, you owe to Holly. You investigated and found out I was staying at her place while I was missing, so you leaked the information to Tiffany and had her try to get rid of Holly. Luckily, I was prepared. Leo's stepmother clutched the corner of the table, her eyes darting around in fear. She grabbed Tiffany's mother's hand. Mrs. Lee, you're the one who said Tiffany wouldn't marry anyone but Leo. That's why I resorted to this. You can't just abandon me now. Tiffany's mother was desperate to distance herself from the mess and shook her off. What does this have to do with my Tiffany? If you hadn't instigated it, would Tiffany have let herself be used as your weapon? Leo turned to me reassuringly. I'm almost done. Just be patient a little longer. I snapped back to reality. It's fine, it's fine. Keep going. I haven't heard enough yet. Leo pulled out the last stack of files. This last one is about my mother, Helen. At the mention of that name, Leo's stepmother looked like she had seen a ghost and cowered at the corner of the table. It wasn't me, it wasn't me. Leo's eyes were filled with hatred. You were my mother's best friend, yet you had an affair with my father while she was pregnant with my sister. She walked in on you, and the shock sent her into premature labor. Leo stood up and walked toward her, step by step. But you and my father, afraid that your affair would be exposed and you'd lose my grandfather's support, refused to take my mother to the hospital. You let her and my sister die a slow, agonizing death. Leo's stepmother stumbled backward, her face a mask of guilt. Who said that? Who told you? You couldn't possibly know that. You're slandering me. Leo gave a bitter laugh. It's true I didn't see it with my own eyes. But we have Mrs. Diaz's testimony, plus my mother's autopsy report from before she died. You're not getting away. Like a madwoman, Leo's stepmother lunged at Mrs. Diaz, but the bodyguards restrained her. So you served Helen for a few years, big deal. Haven't I been good to you? How could you betray me like this? Mrs. Diaz was emotional. Ma'am, my son was sick. I asked for time off long ago, but you refused and even threatened to withhold my pay. Is that what you call being good to me? I sat at the coffee table and let out a cold snort. Mrs. Sterling, if you don't want people to know, don't do it in the first place. The stepmother was nearly hysterical. You think you're so much better than me? You're just another gold digger trying to marry into the Sterling family and become a CEO's wife overnight. I'll be waiting to see you end up just like me. I clapped the sunflower seed dust off my hands. First of all, I don't seduce my best friend's husband. And second, I don't try to have people killed. Owen, his head bowed and eyes filled with tears, suddenly knelt before Leo. Bro, I'm so sorry. I had no idea my mom did so many terrible things. I apologize on her behalf. Send her to jail if you have to. I won't object. Held by the security guards, the stepmother's worldview truly shattered at this sight. Get up. How can my son kneel to Helen's son? Get up. Leo sighed. Get up. I was never angry with you. Bro, then help me up. The police had already arrived and were taking the whole lot of them, both from the Lee and Sterling families, away. Leo had his assistant and a lawyer follow them to make sure they received the harshest possible sentences. Now that that's all taken care of, it's time for the main event. Leo covered my eyes and picked me up. Owen was still chasing after us. Bro, where are you and my sister-in-law going? Take me with you. After a 10-minute drive, Leo helped me out onto what felt like a grassy lawn. Okay, you can open your eyes now. Before me was a mansion that looked like a European castle, with a park-like garden completely covered in roses. Leo led me by the hand into the sea of flowers. This is our new home. In the midst of the roses, tables and guests were already in place. There was Grandma, my best friends from college, and some other people I didn't know, who must have been Leo's friends. A caregiver pushed Grandma onto the stage in a wheelchair, and she handed me a bouquet of flowers. Grandma may be old, but I'm not senile yet. I saw the sparks between you two from the start. Leo, you and Holly have both had hard lives. Now that you're starting a family, you have to take good care of each other. Grandma wiped a tear from her eye and pulled a card from her pocket. This is the settlement money from your parents' car accident, plus some of my savings. It's over $1 million in total. Consider it your dowry. Grandma pressed the card into my hand and then took Leo's. To my granddaughter and my grandson-in-law, may you be forever united and grow old together. The crowd below erupted in cheers. The banquet began, and I squeezed in with my friends. Holly, I can't believe that little helper you picked up is actually a CEO. Holly, don't forget us when you're rich and famous. I clinked my glass of orange juice with my friends. To my best girls, I'll never forget you. After we had eaten our fill, I still felt like something was missing. I tugged on Leo's sleeve. Honey, I'm craving a grilled cheese. Leo waved his hand, and a server wheeled up my old food cart. One moment, my lady. Who else wants a grilled cheese? I'm making them fresh. To my surprise, the first people to raise their hands were Leo's friends from his time studying abroad. Me. I want one with extra cheese. I want one with spicy ramen noodles in it. I've been craving this since I was overseas. My friends had been too shy to raise their hands, but now they were waving them high. 3 grilled cheeses over here. Owen sat next to me, making tsk sounds. Wow, sis-in-law. Under your guidance, my brother actually learned how to cook. During the winter break of my junior year, we got married and went to Hokkaido for our honeymoon. Owen, who was a freshman in college, insisted on coming with us. We couldn't say no, so we brought him along. The stepmother and the other Sterling relative spent that new year in prison. She was sentenced to life. The Sterling family assets were split evenly between Leo and Owen. As for Tiffany, although she only got 5 years, Leo used his new power to crush her family's business, effectively blacklisting them from the corporate world. Even when she gets out, all that will be waiting for her is a bankrupt company and a mountain of debt. The snow in Sapporo, Hokkaido, was falling softly. I suddenly felt that all the hardships of my life had vanished the moment I met Leo. Leo stood beside me, his face red from the wind. My dearest Holly, the mountain has shed a snowflake just for you. Snowflakes clung to Leo's eyelashes, and I saw my own reflection in his eyes. Owen called to us from inside. It's freezing out here. Come in and soak in the hot springs. In the fall of my senior year, I aced my grad school interview. My undergrad was just a decent state school, but Leo had managed to connect me with a top-tier advisor at an Ivy League-level university. Over the year, Leo ran the company with flawless precision. But he was also intentionally grooming Owen to be his successor. For me, as long as we have enough to live on, that's enough. I don't want my work to make me neglect my family. The day my graduate school acceptance letter arrived, I was so happy I ran a victory lap around the yard. Leo loved watching me run around, carefree. You were just like this the first time I saw you. I hope that this happy Holly can bring her good luck to everyone." With that, Leo scooped me up and carried me into the bedroom. I pressed my hand against his chest. "Grandma's still home." Leo's hand slipped mischievously under my clothes. "It's fine. Grandma's hard of hearing."